Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis, updated commodities, work our way through the dollar yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. I'll interject my financial opinions as we go through it together. And if you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com. That's where I dive deeper into all of these topics, subjects, looking for potential investment opportunities, sharing those opportunities with everyone in the community. I also talk about macro. I talk about a whole bunch, a variety of things related to investments. So if that's something that you are interested in, definitely sign up. We have a discount coupon code special where you can get 50% off the first month only on the monthly membership, and a larger discount on a yearly membership. If anyone wants to transfer from monthly to yearly, use that discount, save some money. All right, let's take a look, see what's going on today. Starting with the dollar or DXY, the comparative measurement. We had a bearish engulfing here that generally indicates a weakening. It can also indicate a consolidation. So we can see if we look at history here, there's one right here, and that spawned this consolidation, which then broke to the upside. Right now, the momentum on the longer term is up. We've broken through the resistance, that blue resistance line going across, and it looks like we've been consolidating here. We entered this from the top side up. So if I were to look at this and I were to make a guess based off of the probabilities of the chart, I would say that this still looks bullish at this time until we see something to change my mind. The 2-year yield still looks bullish. We've got another consolidation here, which is just a big flag pattern. Flag patterns generally are continuation patterns to the upside until I see something different. The 10-year yield, again, not much selling pressure here. The momentum is up. And we've broken through these patterns, these downtrend lines to the upside. The 30 years similar to the 10-year. We've broken to the upside. Not a ton of selling pressure, at least not yet. And it still looks good to go higher. We would view this as a potential consolidation. Now, if we get a big bearish engulfing candlestick, I would change my mind and say we are pulling back. Right now, we don't have that. TYX, TNX ratio, again, this has been inverted, and we've been inverted for a pretty long time. The circle here, when we were coming down, the circle is when gold started to take off. These were your buy points for gold. It's when the yield curve inverts and then it basically flatlines. And we've been flatlining for a while here. When this goes back up, that's generally good for precious metals. But on the long end of the curve, the 30 versus the 10, that's what I'm using. I don't see it going up yet. Bond prices, we were slightly lower today. The momentum is down, but it is trying to at least turn around here. That is a bullish piercing candlestick that we got Tuesday. Longer term, looks pretty weak. Down, down, down. We've got the 2 and the 10. The 2 and the 10 is uninverting, but it's doing it with yields going up, which I think there's really only been one time. I think it was the late 70s, the mid 70s, that we saw yields drop during that time, and then the yield curve uninverted. This is a pretty rare, unique situation that we're seeing with yield curve and with what yields are doing. So coming up, gold. Gold is up about $20 an ounce. It looks good. It looks solid. Silver, I mean, we've broken out of this pattern here, so let's back out. We've broken upward. And if we zoom in, we don't have a ton of buying pressure here. We kind of fell off a cliff there. So I think we could go sideways for a little while in the short term. If gold continues to work its way on up, that might change my mind. We could see silver play along, but at least right now, sideways. Platinum down a little bit. We've broken out of this pattern upwards, so I would look for a move higher in platinum. Palladium selling off about $3 or 3% right at support. I'm trying to see if there's a falling wedge there, one, two, and then a third one. So we might pull back again before heading on higher. Could be a falling wedge. We'll see. GDX up slightly, but this still looks bearish in my opinion. Could still head lower. GDXJ, it's the same setup. SILJ, same setup. It's an inverted flag pattern to head lower. XAU to gold ratio, we are at that support region where the gold and silver miners divided by gold, and we are at a very cheap price down here. Now, could this drop down and break out of this support level? It could, and we could get cheaper. What would that mean? I guess it would, I have a theory that if shale oil rolls over, what does that mean for the pricing of all assets in the world? I'm not going to talk about it too much, but that could drastically change the pricing of everything in the world because everything is predicated off of future earnings, and future earnings are predicated off of an expanding energy supply. And if your energy supply doesn't grow rapidly, it means that everything that's potentially in the future could be too aggressive and that things need to be priced a lot lower based off of energy abundancy. Crude oil, we are down 0.8%. So tracking sideways for the most part. Is it a bearish engulfing? Nah. Yes and no. It's a tough one. We'll see what follow through we get, is what I'll say there. TTF gas looking good. It's in an uptrend. Natural gas in America, bearish engulfing. That does look like we could potentially roll over and sell off a little bit or consolidate sideways. We got one here and here. This is that little pullback. It doesn't mean that it's a top. It just means that we could consolidate or pull back in some sort of pattern. But overall, I mean, the momentum is to the upside. Boy, XOP, yeah, you know me. Kind of an interesting looking chart here. What's interesting here, this is what's really interesting. We were making a run for it, guys. We were making a run for it right here. And then when this is November 25th, it was just like selling pressure galore occurred. 1, 2, 3, 4 months or 4 weeks straight down, and now we're consolidating again. Is this legit selling pressure here? If it is, then we could see this be an inverted flag pattern, and we head lower. If this was something that was not related to the market, where we broke out, because this is what's weird. This is really weird and a difficult call. We broke out of this downtrend here, breakout. We broke out of the big boy breakout, but there's going to be some selling pressure. Now, the selling pressure pushed us back. We came on back, and we probably had some other stuff mixed in here, like tax loss selling, like that type of stuff mixed in. This could be just an overstated pullback of this retest there. But I'm reaching. I'm reaching for that. So we'll have to see which direction this goes here. OIH, also is in a very similar situation. We were breaking out and then we sold off, and it was like straight selling pressure the entire time. And again, we haven't had a strong bounce yet, so the momentum is still to the downside. And the bigger picture view, I mean, this doesn't look all that strong, to be honest. Could we drop? We could. But oil doesn't look that, at least it doesn't look that bad yet. It is consolidating here, and we've broken to the upside here. So that's what's confusing. We're seeing a positive signal on crude, at least in the very short term. And then we're seeing weakness the past 4 weeks in a lot of these oil areas. Now, is there something in the market that I don't know about that the market insiders know? Maybe. Is there like a false flag event or something? Could be. Newcastle coal futures, we are pulling on back here. Momentum still down. We were up today, 1.2%. We'll see if we can get some support there. Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, down slightly. The momentum is still to the downside. That hasn't turned yet in a larger flag pattern. Uranium still pulling back. I think it's going to go to the 60s here, guys. 64, 65. URA sideways. It's trying here. So we're looking at that. It's trying to base out. URNM doing the same thing, and URNJ, it's trying to base out here. We'll see if we can get a bullish engulfing or something to reverse this around. If we get that. Copper, right at support. It's up a little bit right on support. We've got COPX up a little bit. Pretty strong selling pressure here. Could be done though, because it looks like the way we fell here is probably about the same size. We've got iron ore down slightly. It is looking okay, and we are contracting. So, I mean, you don't even have to like hit tops and bottoms. You're contracting on this bottom here and contracting in and squeezing into this corner. We entered it from the bottom side up, so that would be a break higher. Aluminum up 2%, but we are still in this channel. So we're still underneath resistance in the channel. Nickel up 0.84%. I know some people were asking me about nickel. It still looks weak at this time. We need to get some buying pressure to turn this thing on up. The dollar and yields are going to weigh on a lot of this stuff here that we're looking at. Moo up a little bit, but momentum is still down. Three small little guys right there with a big gap. We have to see if the gap gets filled and if we turn back over. Emerging markets, just chopping sideways, stronger dollar, yields. KRE up 0.5 right on support. We filled the gap. We've got TAN down slightly. This thing looks like garbage. We've got lithium down 0.9. It's trying. We're right on that resistance line. REMX down slightly. Just chopping sideways. Baltic Dry Index up 0.3%. We are, again, chopping sideways, but momentum is down. XHB, momentum is down. We've broken this to the downside, and we could see further downside here. We do not have a strong bounce. This would be some sort of inverted flag pattern to move lower. Russell 2000's up 0.9%, right at support. There's a bunch of support coming through here. S&P 500, I don't know how it does it. I don't know how we keep going up like this, but to me, this looks like it wants to go lower. We've got big selling pressure here. Your bounce up, and then you've got these small green candlesticks all inside the red one. So that, to me, signals that your buying pressure could be weaker than your selling pressure, and we could see downside action if the sellers come out of the woodwork here. NASDAQ doing the same thing, big selling pressure. We fought our way back up, but I mean, this still looks like we have the possibility of the sellers coming in here and ripping it. The SMCI sideways, it's just going to base NVIDIA. Again, we kind of squeezed up here. We came on up. We're squeezing up, squeezing up, squeezing up. It fell down. So I look at it like this is topping and it wants to go and roll over for NVIDIA. Bitcoin, now we're still above support here in that general area, but we are getting some selling pressure here. Here. I mean, that's not a weak little day, so we'll see if the support holds. And if the NASDAQ rolls over and NVIDIA rolls over, we could see this roll over with it. Ethereum also getting some selling pressure today, down 5%, which is right on support. But again, we fell. Here's your bearish engulfing. You've got all those small green candlesticks coming up into a point there. It sold off. Small buying pressure, sell off. To me, this looks like it wants to go lower by looking at the candlesticks there. And I'm sure Bitcoin is doing something very similar. MicroStrategy's already broken to the downside. We'll see where this goes, but this kind of looks like a continuation move where we could head lower for MicroStrategy. These are generally tops, these huge reversal candlesticks like that, where a big player just offloads a buttload of shares onto everyone, creating this reversal candlestick. More than likely, if I were to pull up volume, you're going to see a big volume candlestick there. See it? So, this does not look good to me. Then the VIX, it's up 3.15. Bigger picture view, this was a consolidation here, a breakout. That was the Japanese whatever thing. And then, well, the insiders knew about it because that's why it squeezed up. And here we are doing a retest. So we could work our way on up at some point here because we are sitting on top of this pattern. But that's what I've got for today, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website. We do have that discount coupon code special going on. And that's all I've got for today. So we'll catch you Sunday, 5 p.m. Mountain Time, if you want to attend the question and answer session that I'm running. All right, guys. We'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.